Today we'll be exploring the University of Western Sydney Parramatta Engineering Innovation Hub, and we'll be exploring the design gap agencies and advocating for change.
The issues involved within the campus building. Issue 1, COVID-19. COVID-19 is a worldwide pandemic that has been occurring since December 2019. This virus has heavily affected society's health, economy, and overall living standards. Issue 2, being limited parking. Parking is an important aspect within design, as for the user it would be convenient to attend campus. Issue 3, limited storage space. Storage for the user is vital in certain design aspects, as it would create more versatility for the user to do their activity. Issue 4, functionality. Functionality, similarly to workability, is how aspects of design are able to function well and adhere to the user's needs.
COVID-19 being one of the issues, the limited space between desks and chairs being closely put together is a COVID-19 issue, as it does not abide by the 1.5 meter social distancing rule. The minimal inclusion of sanitizing stations and sanitizing wipes within the building, as for level 2 only has one sanitizing station, and the overall functionality would need to be taken into consideration when redesigning these spaces to fit COVID-19 regulations.
The second problem was parking. An issue at the Western Sydney University is a lack of parking available to both the students and the staff. The building is located in the heart of Parramatta City. A feature of cities is the large density of people per capita. This means that there is a high number of people within the environment, adding to the number of cars on the road, increasing the need for parking.
The next problem is the functionality of basement facilities. So facilities display sufficient capability for improvement of previous learning methodologies, yet lack proper implementation. When designing a building, it is required to follow a process of form follows function, and this needs to be adhered to in every building design process, which has been overshadowed during the design of this building to allow for visual building aesthetics. This can be displayed within the lack of spatial consideration identified in regards to the basement, with the floor design in design arrangement providing minimal space for utilization of the equipment.
The methodology that has been gone through to further fix the COVID-19 issue, extending classroom space into common areas, so the common areas are used as classroom spaces to extend desks, removing unnecessary pillars to extend more desks and chairs, and also not removing all pillars, as some pillars would be necessary to help function the levels of each building well.
After looking and walking around the Western Sydney University building, I've learned that there are no available parking to both the students and the staff. Talking to the staff members, the underground car park is very small and only available to the higher corporate businesses in the top of the building. After interviewing students, majority have said that they were frustrated and annoyed when trying to find a parking spot, which ended up in adding to the travel time to get to the campus, and increasing stress and frustration before class. After conducting a survey on the number of students who have a driver's license, of the 76 students that were surveyed, 62 students have their license and have the ability to drive to campus.
During the functionality, utilization of both primary and secondary research was used inclusive to observation research and interview tactics. During the observation process, it was made evident that the spaces for the foam cutting appliances were not sufficient to the need of the users, and minimal signage for safety was present to allow individuals to understand the safety requirements of the space. In terms of research, it was conducted in comparison to UTS, which displays more space in regards to the use of foam cutting systems and allows for more mobility. Interview tactics, as displayed below, display that students feel unsafe and uncomfortable whilst using the space, as there is not enough mobility and room for them to function properly.
The overall results of fixing these issues within the campus, the COVID-19 and the limited parking issue, implementing a curve structure for each classroom space, and also including more sanitizer stations within each classroom, And also for the car park, including a multi-story car park would increase the number of spots and give more possibilities to build a car park, and using that as a separate space apart from the campus. Eliminating and expanding spaces, eliminating space within the common area would allow for more spaces that are more important, such as classroom space, and expanding car park space within the university would also allow for more car park spots for students.
In regards to functionality, this is related to storage and basement facilitation. Implementation of sufficient safety signage would allow students to gain knowledge of the correct procedures for equipment use, create a safer environment, and ensure students are aware of the efficient PPE needed within the area. Better utilization of spatial facilities in regards to the basement would include the reduction of workspaces from 4 to 2 to allow for product placement and full mobility access, and the investment of storage use for under the benches to allow for easy access of materials. In regards to storage facilitation, the integration of a sufficient storage facilitation would allow for placement of student works for easy access, and the inclusion of heavy duty storage shelves and lockers catered to large scale model projects.
In conclusion, through research of each problem area, we are able to investigate results in which will improve each of the problem areas. These results include COVID-19, the extending of classrooms in order to allow for higher levels of social distancing while also adding sanitising stations in order to help slow the spread of the virus within the building, the limit of parking, the adding of extra car spaces underground, and or the addition of a separate multi-level car park station allocated for the university students. The third issue, storage space, incorporating the design project storage facility with efficient shelving space, locker compartments, and usage-free for students. And functionality, the minimising of foam cutters from 4 to 2 in order to create more space for work.